Today's theory lesson talks about scalar basslines. There are a number of things to keep in mind, and some of the big things that we will address today is what type of chord is being used and how it relates to the key. The key determines the overall harmonic structure, or how the song is going to sound as a whole. Now, there are some interchangeable moments. There are chords that work in a major key that are minor in tonality, and there are chords in a minor key that are major in tonality. And one of the best tomorrow's video is going to exemplify that when I play "The Man Who Sold the World" from David Bowie. So, "The Man Who Sold the World" is in the key of D minor. So if we were to play a D minor scale, it'd be D, E, F natural, G, A, B flat, C natural, D. That would be the natural minor scale, and the scale that would work the best in this key. So let's look at the chords that are used in that song and how they relate to the song at hand. So the key is in D minor. It's the first chord that's used and the last chord that is resolved to in the song. When you're looking for keys, an easy trick is to look at what the last chord is. The last chord will usually dictate what key the song is in. And in this case, it's D minor. So the key is D minor. Or if you were using a scale to move around in the bass line, to work around in the bass line for the song, you would play the natural minor scale, which in a more close-up, I know you couldn't really hear that, but it's 5-7-8 on A, 5-7-8 on D, and then 5-7 on the G string. And the next chord that's used is, the next chord in the song is A major. Now if you were to use a scalar bass line in that, now this is where things get a little complicated, because in traditional music theory, and it's utilized in this song, you can't have a 5 chord in a minor tonality resolving to the 1 chord, which is also in a minor tonality. You have to have a dominant sounding chord, which is a chord that has a major third and a minor 7th resolving to the root chord, no matter if it's a major key or a minor key. So you can't have technically A minor resolving to D minor. A is the fifth chord in a song based in a key of D, whether it be major or minor. Reason why I know this is if you look at the scale, the 5th note in the D scale, whether it be major or minor, is A. Based off of that relation of note to note in the scale, A being the 5th note in a D scale, A is the 5 chord relating to the 1 chord D. Now, why does it have to be a dominant chord, a major third with a minor 7th? Well, the reason being is that the 7th note of the scale, or the 7th chord in the key, which in this case is C, has to resolve up a half step. The tension that's created when you have a major 7 resolving up to the tonic, or the root of the key, in this case it would be C sharp up to D, sounds so much better and so much cleaner than having the C natural flat 7 resolving up to the tonic D. Now now the great thing about rock music is that it's more about what sounds good. And if you don't think that resolving from a dominant 5 to a minor 1 chord sounds all that great, you don't have to. But I'm using the example as it's given in the song. So if you're using scales in Man Who Sold the World, you got the one chord, which is D minor, and you'd use the D natural minor scale. And if you were using a scale in the second chord, A dominant 7, it would be an A dominant scale, which is, like I said, a major scale, but you have a flat 7. So this is a great block way to play any scale. I'm playing the 5th fret A on the E string, and then 5 7 on the E 4 5 7 on the A, and then 4 5 7. If it was a true major scale, it would be a major 7th, which is the 6th fret, but since it's dominant and you have a minor 7th, it's 5. So those would be the scales that you would use. Now, the next two chords that are used before it resolves back to the verse are F major and C major. Again, if this was like a classical theory piece, that C chord, or that C major chord, or in this case that C dominant chord, would be a C sharp diminished chord. But the way that David Bowie is using the chords in the sequence of this song, he's setting it up to F major, which is the 3rd of the key, and he's only applying that C sharp to the A chord. So for all the other chords, he lets it be. So you got F major, which is the 3rd of the 3rd chord in the D minor scale, and you'd use F major scale. That way that I showed you on the E string is also applicable by starting on basically any note from the 2nd fret up on the A string as well. And then that establishes the key F major sounding key before it interchanges back down into the D minor. This is where you can have fun going from minor to major and major to minor, because the third note in a major scale, in a minor scale, is the 6th note in a major scale. So if you were to play an F major scale starting on the D, you would be playing the natural minor scale, which would allow you to interchange very smoothly and easily between F and D minor, because they are the same scale, just starting on different notes. Now, this is where playing an actual scalar bass line comes into play in the song, because up until this point, you're not really playing anything scalar. The most scalar you get is when you go into the chorus, where you are just simply playing a C dominant scale and an F major scale. And I shall show you. Now, it's right before David Bowie starts singing, "Oh no, not me, I never lost control." So it's like, he's literally over the course of one measure playing in eighth notes, a major and dominant scale up to the octave, and then starting back over again. That's one of the best examples I can give you of playing scalar bass lines to a chord in a pop song, in a rock song. There are more examples out there, but this was the best one I could show you right now, and I hope I explained it to you clearly enough.